What it do, cuckolds? It's your boy the Hater, and I finally got around to watching SmackDown. And I will say, I really enjoyed this episode of SmackDown. Pin this, you know what I'm saying? It was a very good episode with a lot of good things happening. Now, was it perfect? Of course not. But there were a lot of things that were at least good, right? Some of them could be argued to be great. Furthermore, I really enjoyed the build-up to this SmackDown, right? It felt like a big deal because finally we were going to get Cena versus R-Truth. You see what I'm saying? So let's get to it and let's get started with this SmackDown review and we go over it segment by segment. All right. So the show opens up with L.A. Knight. Yeah. He comes out and says he wants Seth Rollins. Like we already know that this is the feud. He pretty much runs down what's already happened. And then Paul Heyman comes out. Paul Heyman does the same thing he's been doing for 20 years. He is a no-talent hack. And I cannot wait for the inevitable day where everyone realizes that Paul Heyman was shit all along. It's going to happen. It might take a few years, but it's going to happen, right? The idea that he's some sort of genius or some good wrestling figure is just incorrect in my opinion in any capacity. Basically, LA Knight wants a match with Heyman now, and his argument is Heyman comes out here and talks all this shit. He didn't want to talk to Heyman. He wanted to talk to Seth Rollins. So since Heyman's here, why doesn't Heyman get in the ring, right? Pretty good point. I don't know why other people don't make this point more frequently up in this bitch. Now after this happened, obviously Heyman runs away and the lackeys come out. This is getting to a point now where it's like, I'm this close to just giving up completely on Braun Breaker and Bronson Reed. The lackey role really fits well with these guys. They're just lackeys. Like, if Bronson Reed was introduced as a lackey, you know, there would be nothing there, right? Nobody could look at either Bronson Reed or Braun Breaker, honestly, in the way that they're being presented now and think anything of them. They straight up just look like goons. They look like lackeys. There's nothing there. It's like, I don't know why they did this. Braun Breaker was over. People liked him. So they bored him down and turned him into a complete and utter lackey. So they attack LA Knight, but LA Knight whoops their ass with a chair and then gives them a molly-whopping, which was a word that I learned today, cucks. After the break, Byron Saxton can be seen telling Heyman that it'll be Bronson Reed versus LA Knight. And here's a moment that I personally despise, motherfucks. Paul Heyman says straight up, he says to Bronson Reed, because the match is going to be Bronson Reed versus LA Knight. And he says to him, I couldn't believe it. He says, I told you, patience isn't a virtue. It's strategy. Then he does like an evil Paul Heyman smile. Like, what's the strategy? Like, LA Knight wanted a match. He got a match. What's the strategy? Oh, you're going to 2-on-1 him? Wow, how brilliant. That's what I hate about Paul Heyman. They pretend that this guy's like a genius. He does like what everyone else does. Oh, we hate this guy. We're gonna double team him. Wow, what a wise man he is. It's like in kayfabe, none of the Paul Heyman shit makes sense at all. Like no real person would want anything to do with Paul Heyman in real life. It's like imagine if someone said to you, "Hey, pay me like whatever, 10, 15%, etc." And you know, like I'll be your wise man. And then you'd obviously ask, you'd be like, "Okay, what does that entail? What are you gonna do for me?" And then he'd say, "Oh, nothing really. I'm just going to tell you common sense shit." You just laugh right at his face. You know what I mean? But yeah, that's how that goes, cucks. Nothing we can do about it. Complete waste of time. Like, it's going to continue on later in the night. I did not enjoy this segment at all. Then Asuka has a match with Alexa Bliss. It's exactly what you'd expect. A random-ass throwaway match. Asuka being back is still kind of neat. It's only her second match. It seems like they're really leaning hard on her new move, which is called the Empress Impact, or as the Hater calls it, the Asuka. She wins. It is what it is. After the match, they show Alexa Bliss, and she's like being kind of harassed by Chelsea Green, and then Charlotte stands up for her, and the whole idea is like, oh, you know, like Charlotte and Alexa are kind of friends. then they're not friends, then they're friends again, whatever, right? This leads to Chelsea Green versus Charlotte later today. I mean, look, Charlotte Flair is like the female Roman Reigns, so I do believe that if she wrestles on SmackDown, it should be considered kind of a big deal. So, on the scale, this is more positive than it was negative. Cooks. After this, we have Aleister Black versus Kit Wilson, who's already in the ring and doesn't get like an entrance on TV. R-Truth attacks Kit Wilson for no reason. This was really off-brand and really stupid. Like, just because the fans like R-Truth doesn't mean that all of a sudden R-Truth is supposed to be like this believable force. It's just stupid. I understand it's only Kit Wilson who's a jobber, but Kit Wilson is a man in his like 20s, who's in good shape. So just R-Truth is just not believable at all anymore. I feel like ever since he cut his hair, it's just like he just looks so much older. You know what I mean? Because part of like looking old has to do with like how you carry yourself. And basically he's balding and he's hiding his baldingness with like that goofy haircut that he has, which I think he should just go bald, but that's not here nor there. After the beatdown, the match doesn't happen. Damian Priest tells R-Truth, like, look, don't be that guy, basically, right? Whatever, nothing comes of it. Who cares? Cody Rhodes comes out, and so do the rest of the Cuck of the Ring competitors. Orton is the last one out, and he literally says to Cody, he says, and to everybody else, basically, he's like, I'm going to say the same thing that I said last week. And then he proceeds to say the same thing that he said last week. This is fine, though. You know what I mean? This is like your typical, like prelude to like a payoff type promo. And he says to Sami Zayn, one day you're going to be World Heavyweight Champion. Everyone cheers. I don't believe it. And he says, but that's not going to be on SummerSlam because I'm going to beat that ass, right? And basically, it comes down to that. Right after, we've got Orton versus Sami Zayn, who is an abject jobber, apparently, and he loses. I was actually pretty surprised. I thought Sami Zayn was going to take it all. Taking it all. But I guess it's going to be Orton versus Cody. I don't see it being Orton versus Jay, although I think that would be actually more entertaining to kind of like show that Jay is still not a cuck. But I don't see Jey Uso beating Cody Rhodes, So there you have it. Normally, I would have said, of course, I would have said like, Sami Zayn versus Jey Uso makes the most sense, but I don't think that's happening anymore, obviously. So there you have it. After this, we have like a Tiffany Stratton and Nia Jax segment. Nia beats that ass. Naomi comes in to cash in, right? And all of a sudden, Nia stops Naomi, which means that we're in the exact same position we were at last year with the roles reversed. It used to be Tiffany Stratton that would like contemplate cashing in and someone would stop her or she would stop herself. And now Nia Jax is helping people not cash in on fucking Tiffany Stratton. None of this makes any sense. It is what it is. Like, I mean, I guess if you're going to have a Money in the Bank type situation, you're going to want people to tease it like Naomi does. So that's not that bad. At some point, we had like a fucking match between Charlotte and Chelsea Green. Charlotte obviously wins with the figure 8. And she gets attacked by like the Secret Hervis right after. Alexa Bliss saves her ass. But they're in that first stage of the storyline where they're not friends yet. So they kind of ignore each other, right? At some point, I think it was after the Asuka match. I forgot this segment. This was really bad. Basically, like after Asuka wins, they showed Jade Cargill in the back, and she's hanging out with B-Fab and Michin, who, against all odds, somehow are still employed. It's unbelievable. It's unbelievable how bad people can be at their jobs and still have them. It's crazy. Like, B-Fab is in contention for worst signing in the history of wrestling. You know what I mean? She's achieved fucking nothing. She's been there like 6 years. She's done nothing. She's a shit rapper when they had like the fucking Swerve Strickland rap group. Like that should have been at the end of all their careers. She's like bad at that. She's bad at wrestling. She looks like a dude kind of. You know what I mean? Like I don't see any redeeming qualities with her. Michin was looking really greasy for some reason. Like she had just dipped herself in olive oil. She was all shiny. It was weird. And Jade Cargill, who looks like a star, eventually gets approached by Byron Saxton. He asks her a simple question, like he's like, how do you feel about wrestling Asuka? And then she cuts a promo. But because she's not good at this, she's not good at talking on the mic, it was clear that this was something she had prepared for, right? And the segment wanted to give off the impression that this is just something off the cuff, right? Like Byron asked her a question and she responded with like cool shit. You know, she's like, Asuka's the calm before the storm, but I am the storm, or some other bullshit, right? It just came off very unnatural. Jade Cargill looks great. She's a decent enough wrestler, in my opinion, because she's strong and can do cool moves. But she has like absolutely zero charisma. It's unbelievable how someone can look so much like a star and have so little charisma and ability to deliver the promo. She's got presence, but she's not entertaining on the mic. So, quite frankly, just release her. At this point, it's been like 2 or 3 years in WWE. She's done nothing. Or give her a manager. Give her like Robert Stone. That could be pretty fun, I think. Anyways, whatever. That's what happened. Nobody gave a flying fuck. After this, Solo comes out and he wants some love. Solo Sikoa and any other person that's kind of like surrounded themselves with the Solo Sikoas of the world, they shouldn't get any segments to talk. There's no need, right? Solo comes out and he just says Solo shit. He's like, I love you, Jacob Fatu. Come out, like you're all I got, whatever, right? And then like you hear all of a sudden, as he's saying all this shit, it's going on forever, you hear, Ta, Lu, Ta, Fa, Tu, and then Jacob Fatu comes out. Solo says the same shit again. Jacob then says, you've been using me. You've been using me, dog. And then he says he wants to challenge Solo, like kind of, right? He's going to give Solo a title shot and basically just to put it all to an end, right? And then Solo goes for the Samoan spike. Jacob Fatu stops it. JC Fateo comes out. And then Jimmy Uso comes out. God forbid. He comes out, but they all get their asses whooped anyways. But Jacob Fatu then comes back to life, beats up the bad guys, and that's that, right? This is like an undercard act that they're forcing into the midcard. It's like when they showed Solo Sikoa and JC Fateo walking like backstage, and then you look at them like, all right, Solo Sikoa at least has the blonde streak in his hair, but JC Mateo, this guy looks like an extra. He looks like security. You know, this guy has absolutely nothing going for him. Like it's almost at this point unbelievable. Like you see, you know when like security guards come out in like AEW and like fucking Lance Hoyt or whatever his name is now. Like you know what I'm talking about, Lance Hoyt, the murder hog monster, that guy. When he like destroys like 10 security people, like 10 out of 10 AEW security people have more presence and charisma than JC Mateo. JC Mateo is just like a dude. Like it's like if you saw this guy like at the mall, you'd be like, oh, that's a funny looking dude, and you'd keep walking and you'd forget about him in 2 seconds. You know, this guy is just, I'm sorry. And I'm not trying to be hard on his appearance. He's not like an ugly guy or anything, but I'm just saying like this guy has absolutely no reason to ever be on TV. Like so not everyone is meant to be on TV, motherfucks. And to me, quite frankly, it's unacceptable. But whatever, it is what it is, right? After this, we have LA Knight versus Bronson. LA Knight technically wins by DQ when he gets speared by Braun Breaker. Then afterwards, they beat his ass, you know, like after the match. There was no need for any of this. They could have just had the beating, like at the beginning of the night. There's no need to like have 2 segments dedicated to the story-driven purpose of LA Knight gets a beating. Now, the moment that everyone was waiting for. Cena versus R-Truth. This was my favorite moment of the night, obviously, and it was one of my favorite moments, like, I almost said of all time, but that would be an exaggeration, but I really, really enjoyed this, motherfucks. I feel like I should do another video on this specifically, but I will talk about it here a little bit, of course. So, John Cena, basically, like, the match starts, R-Truth gets in some offense, he gets in, like, some, you know, angry offense, you know what I mean, where he's kind of, like, going a little, like, too hard on Cena. He leaves himself open, Cena just clocks him with a belt, right? That's it. That's the end of R-Truth. He gets belted, and he's no longer part of this segment. R-Truth is still an abject jobber. Like, he's still R-Truth. He still has the same music. The fact that he said, I'm Ron Killings, had no bearing on anything. He's pretty much, just fire him now. It didn't work out, motherfucks. Just fire him now. Then CM Punk comes out, and Cena whoops his ass too. Belts him a couple of times, and then AAs him through a table, through a Slim Jim table. Now, like, all right, CM Punk was dead on the table for like 10 minutes while Cena cut a 10-minute promo, which I didn't like, because it's like, get the fuck up eventually. And at some point, like near the very end of the promo, like a ref comes in and she's like, oh my God. And then like she's checking on CM Punk. It's been 10 minutes. He's been out for 10 minutes. Like, what are you guys doing? Anyways, Cena cuts a promo, right? He cuts effectively the pipe bomb promo, except unlike the pipe bomb promo, which was full of lies, this one is full of truths. So I really enjoyed it, right? During the pipe bomb promo, CM Punk said things like, Luke Gallows is better than everybody, like that kind of dumb shit. So right now, basically, Cena copies the promo. He says that CM Punk is a con artist, that he's tricked everyone to thinking that he's great. I agree. Cena says he's better. Everyone cheers. Punk changes his values as much as Cena changes his t-shirts. This is, I thought, the best part of it, right? Nobody really points this out except for Cena in this promo and the hater, right? CM Punk is someone who has no backbone, right? Like in kayfabe, probably in real life too, but in kayfabe, CM Punk is presented as a guy with no backbone. You know what I mean? He's always just changing his tune, right? Like, just think about it this way. He does the whole Summer of Punk thing. He leaves, right? Turns everything upside down. Triple H is like in charge in kayfabe. And then everyone just kind of turns on Triple H. And all of a sudden, it's like Triple H has nobody to back him anymore, except for like Cena, Sheamus, and CM Punk. And CM Punk comes out and he's like, if I'm going to walk out, I'm going to do it on my terms. Like, shut the fuck up. You know what I mean? Like, back then, nobody really pointed out how stupid this was. CM Punk was the reason why all this shit happened in the first place. You know what I mean? And we're supposed to just ignore that shit, right? And then CM Punk's like, oh, like, I did it on my own terms. It's like everyone here is doing the exact same thing CM Punk did. They walked out. But of course, when someone else does something that CM Punk's already done, CM Punk has to have a problem with it, right? And Cena pointed this out. He didn't talk about this specific example, but that was the idea. That's just one example. But he's basically saying that, like, CM Punk has no values. You know what I mean? He says, I'm never coming back to WWE. He comes back to WWE. I'm never going to wrestle again. He wrestles again. He's full of contradictions. He's just a terrible, terrible human being. You know what I mean? And that's why this promo was so good, in my opinion, because it actually was real. CM Punk is like the antithesis of what he pretends to be. Basically, Cena also makes fun of him and says that he has regurgitated. Fuck, motherfuckers. I need to like finally kick this cough, you know? But he says that CM Punk has regurgitated the same 5 moves of doom on the microphone, right? I thought that was pretty cool too, because he basically pointed out something we all know. CM Punk just says the same exact thing every single time. He says he's a pariah. He's an iconoclast. No, he isn't. He's a capitalist. And that was also a good line. Because Cena's like, you're not Punk. You're not this counterculture guy that you think you are. You are a capitalist, right? You are not Kurt Cobain. You are like Nas, right? You're the Nas of rap, right? And here's the thing, and that's what I was thinking about this whole time. You know, there's some people, for example, I've said this before, they like rappers like Nas and Talib Kweli. And sometimes I also like rappers like Nas and Talib Kweli. But I'm under no delusions, right? Like, for example, when someone says, who's the best rapper of all time? In my opinion, there's only 2 acceptable answers. Eminem or Lil Wayne. If it's not one of those 2 guys, you're just wrong objectively, right? I don't want to hear any argument, oh, Jay-Z's The Blueprint was great. Nobody gave a flying fuck about it when he came out. Believe you me. Jay-Z wasn't even on the radio. You'd have to go to like select hip-hop stations to listen to people like him and to people like Nas, right? Meanwhile, people like Lil Wayne and Eminem have been mainstream. They've mainstreamed themselves, right? You know why they became mainstream? Oh, it's because the mainstream doesn't understand rap. Like, people act just like Rikishi. They act like rap is this like deep level form of art that only 5 people, including Talib Kweli, understand. It's fucking simple shit. It's music like every other music, right? But just like every other music, there are people that do it well, and there are people that do it not so well, and they want to pretend they do it well, so everyone has to kind of join on board and say they do it really well. The reality is that if you go, and you can make this argument about any kind of music. You know, people are like, I don't like Green Day. I don't like Green Day. I like the Sonic assholes that I saw play at a coffee shop in front of 5 people. Guess what? Green Day's better, motherfucks. The market has spoken. It's as simple as that. And people don't want to accept this, right? It's the same exact thing with wrestling. The market has spoken. Anybody with two eyes knows that Cena is better than CM Punk. Anybody that understands anything knows that CM Punk is not on the same level as Cena at anything, motherfuckers. He's not as charismatic. He's not as good looking. He sure as shit doesn't have the same physique, right? He's not as good in the ring. I said it. Like, Cena has had like maybe 10 botches in his entire WWE career. CM Punk has 10 botches in one match. CM Punk, like every kick CM Punk has ever done is a botch. It looks like shit. It's unbelievable. You know, when I first saw CM Punk wrestle, I was waiting for like the next Kurt Angle. And I see this shit and I'm like, wow, indie wrestling really does suck ass. Because if this guy represents indie wrestling, he's shit, right? Then Cena name drops a few people that CM Punk has betrayed, like effectively, right? Claudio Castagnoli, he mispronounces his name. He's like, Claudio Castagnoli, like, good. Who the fuck cares? Guy never drew a dime in his life anyways. Matt Cardona, all these people that CM Punk's supposed to be friends with, but that he's left behind, right? They left the companies they were in to follow CM Punk, not directly, but then look at CM Punk now. He's back, motherfuckers. And basically, that was the part that I really enjoyed. Punk is a capitalist, right? He is not Kurt Cobain. There's very few Kurt Cobains, right? Who really, I mean, I don't even like Nirvana, but I got to give props where props are due. Where Kurt Cobain was like, I'm not a fucking sellout, you know? Most people, even the ones that tell you they're not sellouts, are sellouts, right? It's as simple as that. You know, the reality is, if you look at the fact that Jay-Z is like basically a billionaire, right? I don't even know how he did it because he hasn't sold that many records. Like Eminem, like one of Eminem's albums sells more than like 6 Jay-Z albums, right? But somehow he did it. And you want to tell me that he's not a sellout? You think Nas, if he could, he wouldn't sell like 30 million albums? You know what I'm saying? He just can't because he's fucking boring, motherfuckers. And that's the problem that I have with this, right? Nas and, you know, fucking the Sonic Assholes, which is a band I made up for this video, are the CM Punk of music, right? It's like there's a group of fans that they pretend that they're smarter than everybody, right? This in wrestling we call the smarks. You know what I mean? The smarks, but music has smarks too. Like if someone tells you that, like, if someone straight up just tells you, hey man, I think like David Banner is better than Lil Wayne, you should just laugh at their face. Oh, Logic is better than Lil Wayne. No, he isn't, motherfucks. No, he's not even on the same universe. You know, even like, because this goes deep in rap, especially. People are like, nobody's as good as Tupac. There's like 15 rappers from the year 2000 forward that like are 100 times better than Tupac. You know what I mean? It's just that he died and he became an icon and people pretend he was better than he was. These are just the facts, right? But nobody wants to say these things because it sounds disrespectful, or someone will tell you like, hey man, you don't understand this. Like, you don't understand. What? You think that Hulk Hogan is better than Kevin Owens? You just don't understand wrestling, man. No, motherfuckers. Hulk Hogan is better than Kevin Owens. It's not even on the same universe. But if these marginalized voices, right, the niche voices, the Kevin Owens voices, the Talib Kweli and the Nas voices get big enough, then people in power like Triple H will start believing it. They will start believing it, motherfuckers. And then you're going to see a lot of Nas rappers popping up, right? And then nobody's going to rap anymore. This is exactly what happened with wrestling, right? They listen to the wrong crowd. People, the world wants to see more John Cena's, more Hulk Hogan's, more Stone Cold's, more Rocks, right? They thought that the world wanted to see more CM Punks and more Sami Zayn's. So they got more CM Punks and more Sami Zayn's, and the ratings tanked, right? If rap and music followed the same format, the same thing would happen. In rap, they haven't. In rap, it's gone to the complete opposite direction. Now it's like the more retarded you are, the more airplay you get. Like you have people like Jack Harlow. This guy has no business making music. You have people like fucking Travis Scott. Like it's like, what? This is like a low level, you know, a low standard, you know. But look at rock music, right? Name like 3 rock bands that have gotten big in the last 10 years. They haven't, because all of a sudden people were like, no man, the mainstream rock isn't good. You know, I'm gonna listen to the Sonic Assholes on SoundCloud, man. And then nobody bought the records, and nobody gives a flying fuck about rock music anymore, effectively, right? There's no more mainstream rock. There's no like mainstream equivalent of like a Marilyn Manson, right? But there's always gonna be a mainstream equivalent of John Cena, of Eminem, of Lil Wayne. For rap, it's just Lil Wayne. Like it's still Lil Wayne and Eminem. You know what I mean? They're not as good as they used to be, but nevertheless, right? They're better than Travis Scott. I think everybody already knows that shit. So the point I'm trying to get at here, motherfuckers, is that the John Cena promo was exactly what the world needs, right? It was this calling out of people that do the calling out, right? Because that's what it is. It's like Eminem and Lil Wayne. Eminem much more so because he understands that because he's white in like a black people art form, that everything he says is going to be scrutinized. But what needs to happen is this. When someone says, hey, Lil Wayne, how do you feel about being compared to Nas? Like, Lil Wayne and Eminem should be like, I'm better than Nas. I'm better than Nas, and quite frankly, if you don't think I am, you're just stupid. It's as simple as that. You're just dumb. It's like nobody knows. Do you think someone in Czechoslovakia, do you think most people in Czechoslovakia know who Nas is? Nobody gives a fuck about Nas outside of the United States. You think people in like Laos know who Nas is? And why not, right? They have the music, they have access to it, but they're like, this thing sucks ass, right? But they all know who Eminem is. They all know who Beyonce is, right? You know what I'm saying? They know the stars, the people that are actually good and make money and are draws. Nobody gives a flying fuck about the niche people. That's why they're niche. But the problem is because they're niche, the people that are mainstream are forced, just like John Cena was, they're forced to take this like backseat to them. Like Cena's supposed to sit there and tolerate CM Punk talking all this nonsense about how Tyson Kidd is better than Randy Orton, basically. Like, have you lost your fucking mind? I mean, like, it's like, why is it the same people like The Miz and Cena get pushed while Tyson Kidd and Luke Gallows don't? Well, gee, maybe because Luke Gallows looks like he's retarded even when he's not playing a retard, and Tyson Kidd had a haircut where his hair was bald except for bangs, and he would hold them up and he would call himself the Crown Prince. Maybe that's why, dumb fuck. And Cena's supposed to just sit there and be like, look, I understand you, CM Punk. I respect you. No, this new Cena says, no, I don't respect you. Everyone that you mentioned is a jobber, right? You are a hypocrite. You are not what you pretend to be. You're not Punk. You're a capitalist, right? You are a sellout. The only difference is you're a sellout who says I'm not a sellout. And everyone's supposed to just accept it, but no longer, right? So I really liked what Cena did. It was really great. It was very Cobra Kai of him. You know what I mean? I really enjoyed it. If this, in my opinion, makes the Cena run much more powerful, you know? It wasn't going too well, but I think it's picking up steam. You know, like, if you take away the actual heel turn itself that happened at Elimination Chamber, any involvement from Travis Scott or The Rock, any involvement from Cucky, all this shit, beyond that, since WrestleMania, Cena's fucking carrying this company, motherfucks. Just like he carried it for 25 years, while people like CM Punk would get injured and show up once in a while to complain, Cena carried this motherfucker. While people like Cesaro couldn't draw a dime, Cena carried this motherfucker. You know what I mean? It's time to put some respect on Cena's name. Cucks this, and guess what? The crowd recognized it. The crowd put some respect on Cena's name. Like, they started chanting his name. They cheered for him when he said he's the GOAT, and CM Punk is like not the best in the world, right? And CM Punk, and Cena told him, he was like, look, you were the best in the world for 7 minutes 14 years ago. You know what I mean? And that's it, motherfucker. Since before that and after that, you're a nobody. You know? So I really enjoyed this episode. I think we need to like look at this promo again. Maybe we'll do a promo review, motherfuckers. Bringing that back and go from there. So take care of yourselves and go fuck your mothers, motherfuckers.